Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is the last day of Croctober. Can y'all believe it? I know I'm excited to bring this recipe to you, and then I'm excited to move on into November. It's getting cool here, rainy, cool fall type weather. We're going to have a pretty cool Halloween. The subdivision that we live in gets a lot of trick-or-treaters, like a lot of trick-or-treaters. So we've been preparing for that. I put up a few cute little decorations, a spider web and a skeleton here and there, just nothing that I have to really work hard to take down. If it were going to be like it was the first year we moved here, it was in the low 70s, and it was a nice day. And we had our family over, and we made chili. Well, I decided that I would make, we're going to be making chili mac today. So a couple of things that I wanted to go over with you. Now, I had bought up some tomato sauce and some diced tomatoes because I thought I was going to be cooking for an event. So I have quite a bit of that stocked up now, which is good. And I also have my own freeze-dried tomato powder. This is wonderful. And I could have made this whole recipe with this using this powder. Now, you wouldn't have had the diced tomatoes, but that would have been okay with us. We would have just, the tomato flavor would have been just fine. Now, I'm just using the recipe off of the McCormick original chili package. This is one of the things that we are going to be learning how to make bulk, I think, coming up in November. Things like fajita mixes and chili mixes and taco mixes and things like that. We're gonna do one whole show where I kind of make all these things up in bulk because I'm tired of buying these little packages. Now, I bought these, of course, for the event that I thought I was going to be cooking for, and I just decided that it was a little more than I could do. It's been a rough couple of months, and I just didn't feel like that I wanted to put myself in the position to do that. So it's okay to say no sometimes when you're not feeling up to it. It is okay. That's just the way it is. Sometimes you just have to say no, and that's all right. Now, in my pan on the stove, I have a pound of hamburger meat or ground beef, and then I have another pan that I'm going to cook. This is I don't know what you even call this kind of pasta, but then I think I have some large elbow in here, and we're just going to cook all this up, and we'll mix part of it in with the chili mixture. And so really all that we're going to have to do is get the tomatoes, and I'll go back and reread my directions here. It says to brown the meat in a large skillet on medium-high, drain the fat. This is very lean ground beef, so I don't think I'm going to have to drain the fat. Mix in the seasoning and bring to a boil. And then I'm just going to put it in the crock pot, and I'm going to add everything else at that point. And really all it's going to need to do is get hot. So I wanted to show you this. Now, we go to a discount grocery store sometimes, and we bought this, I think, maybe 6 months, 8 months ago. And at that time, at this store, now this is sometimes your cans might be a little dented. I would never buy anything that was dented around where it's sealed. But if it's got a little dent right here, I'm not too awful worried about that. This was $2.79. Now, this is ground pork. It's fully cooked with the juices. You can also get this in ground beef. You can get just, it doesn't have to be ground meat, but I was looking in the store today, not that store now, this came from a discount store. So I was looking at a big box store today, and the beef, like just pieces of beef in this same size can, was I think $12. So I bought up a lot of this, and we're going to start working our way through it because you can't beat the price, right? So, and stuff like this, now, I will say, I don't mind going past the Best By date a little bit. You're going to be cooking this at a pretty high temperature for a pretty good little while, and that will kill any botulism spores. And if you open this and it smells weird, then throw it away, don't use it. But I would tell you the same thing about tomatoes, about beans, any other thing that that you buy at the store or you can yourself. So use your own judgment, do what's right for you and your family, and if this looks like something that you might could find at a discount store near you, then and I have seen some preppers that have bought this by the case at discount stores like that, and just bought cases and cases of it. Now, I did not do that. I just bought 6 or 7 jars or 6 or 7 cans. But we're not going to be using the ground pork today, and I didn't have any ground beef over there, so we are going to be doing the ground beef. Let's get around to the stove. I'll turn this on. And like I said, this is pretty lean, so I'm going to let this get going, and I might have to add a little bit of fat to it if it's not doing what I want it to. I hope I don't have to. So we're just going to start browning this up. I'm bringing this up to a boil because I want to go ahead and cook my pasta, and I want to cook it al dente, which means it just has a little bit of a bite to it. And then we can add that to, I'll cool it off. I'll completely cool it off in the strainer. And so it'll stop the cooking process, and I'll put it back in a Ziploc bag. And when you fix your bowl, you can just put a little bit of that in there if you want that. And then you can have chili mac, or you can just have chili, whichever way you want to do it. So I think Papa and I both will want some of the pasta because we really enjoy pasta. So I have quite a bit of water here. I've already put a little bit of salt, but I'm going to put a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and season up this ground beef. I have some clumps in my salt here. So let's get some salt on this. I'm going to go ahead and cook all this because we're getting a late start today because we went to the grocery store, and so I want to get going. And this would be a great thing to put in your crock pot and just let it cook all day. Now I would not put the macaroni part in there. I would do what I'm going to do. I would either cook it the night before, cool it down completely, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator, or you could cook it, when you get home and you're ready to get your meal pulled together. So I'm really looking forward to November. So if you have a recipe that was something that your family enjoyed, it was kind of like a family tradition type thing, or it's just something that you and your family like, send me that recipe and we'll make it on the channel and we'll get to share it with everybody. I think that's what this community, what I love the most about doing YouTube is you build this community of friends, and when I see your names pop up and you've made a comment or something, I'm always so tickled. I'm like, well, there's you know, this person or that person. And so I just really do enjoy that. And I love it when you send me comments. And uh, my email address is in the show notes. So you can always go there to find my email address. And you can email me a recipe if you want to do that. You could also put it in the comment. I check the comments every day. So that was really what I wanted to do in November. I really wanted to do things that meant something to, you know, different people. Like this time of year, my parents would always, or my dad would take me to, he knew some gentlemen that made sorghum syrup. So he knew how much I loved animals, and it was on a farm, of course. And so he would take me with him, and I would watch this process and just be amazed at how they did it. And then when we got home, Mom would have hot biscuits coming out of the oven, and by this time it was just the three of us home most of the time. My oldest two brothers had already moved out and got married and all that. And then the brother that I mentioned that came to see me, he was working a lot, so going to school, working a lot, doing all that thing, and then eventually got married and, you know, all that. So, but anyway, we come home and we would just have biscuits and that sorghum syrup and butter. And I know that's not a very nutritious meal, but it wasn't something we ate every day, and it was just like a treat, you know, that you could have every now and then. And of course, we all loved it. Okay, let me get my noodles, my macaroni. Let me see how many of these big ones we have. Right, we're going to just cook all of these, and I'll put them in the refrigerator. I'll put them probably right back in that bag, cool them off. And as soon as that comes back up to a boil, I am going to, let me see what this thing says. Okay, as soon as it's already back up to a boil, so I'm going to set my timer for 7 minutes. All right. Okay, this is looking really good. I want to make sure all this ground beef is done, because I basically just am putting it in the crock pot today just to get hot. I could have cooked it right here on top of the stove, but since we're doing Croctober, I wanted to do it in the crock pot. And so in case, you know, I've got some other ideas for November, and I have got a lot of recipes ready to go just in case. We're going to do some different kinds of mixes, things like taco seasoning, fajita seasoning, like a biscuit type thing. Y'all all may probably already know how to do this anyway, but in case you want the recipe and you just want to see how to, maybe you don't know how to do it and you would like to see how to do it. So that's the plan for right now. And I've got the oven on 400 because I'm going to cook these. These are little potato, I don't know what you call them, hash brown. But we're going to do something special with these when they come out of the oven. And it's going to be good with our chili mac. And it's going to be fun for the time of year it is. Alright, so we're going to put the ground beef in here. going to add the tomato sauce. I love these pop cans. I wish they would do them all that way. So it calls for your ground beef or turkey or pork or whatever it is that you want to use, whatever ground meat you have. 1 14.5 can of diced tomatoes, and then 2 cans of tomato sauce. Let me get this one opened. And this is a super simple dish. Y'all have probably made it a bunch of different times. And I'm going to use chili beans, but you could use pintos, white beans. I mean, you could use any kind of bean like this that you want to. And it says undrained, so I'm going to put them in here just like it says. I'm just going to stir this up. And we're going to add our seasoning. And I kind of did this backwards, but you can do it any way you want to. This is a meal that would really come together really quick anyway, but you could already have all this part done. So, that smells really nice. But I'd like to have a big jar, right? Because these little packets are getting so expensive. Y'all, things have gone up in the grocery store. And I know y'all are feeling the crunch too. We all are. But it is something else right now. Alright, let's get this over here in the crock pot. We're going to turn that up on high. And I'm going to put the lid on it. We only like 1 more minute. I always like to clean up as I go. I like to start with a clean dishwasher. I know I say that probably every video. But it really helps once you've pulled this meal together to be able to go sit down and just relax and not have to worry about anything really. I was talking about this. You can make tomato paste. So if this is, my little dog's barking, it's okay. If this is not as thick as I want it, I will just add some of the paste to it, or some of the freeze-dried tomatoes to it, and we'll thicken it up like that, and that'll be really good. I'm going to taste one of these to make sure that it's as done as I want it. You know what? That needs another minute. So we're going to let that go another minute. And something that is not traditional for chili or chili mac would be caramelized onions. But Papa and I love them so much, so I'm going to put those in. I'm going to put about a half a bag. And these are still frozen a little. So I feel comfortable putting this back in the freezer. It's still mostly frozen, so I'm going to put it back in there. Because I don't want the whole bag in there. What we're going to do with the little potato cakes is we're going to make little mummies. This would be really cute to make with children. So I had 3 pieces of sliced mozzarella. And I'm just going to take my pizza cutter and cut these into strips, about like that. And then I'm going to lay these around on the, once I cook these, we'll lay them around on it and try to make it look mummy-like. Now, I know there's a lot of people who do not do Halloween, and that's fine. But things like yesterday, my granddaughter and I painted pumpkins, and I thought that was a sweet thing to do. We had fun doing that. My daughter-in-law sent me a text, and they were baking, or they were decorating fall cookies, like pumpkins and leaves and different things like that. And I thought that was fantastic, so that was good too. So I found these little, and these are actually candy, these little eyes, but we're going to put them on here just because they're cute, and then we'll take them off when we eat. Let's pour this up. And I am going to run cold water over this and stop the cooking process. All right, those are cooled off, and we're just going to let them sit there and continue to cool, and then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the refrigerator. And we probably won't eat all of these with this chili mac. And the reason I want to leave them out is if I have some of this left, I'm going to freeze dry it. I had some of the lasagna left, and so I went ahead and put it on freeze dryer tray. And right now we are in freeze drying, just taking a batch out, putting a batch back in, and mostly peppers have been what we have been doing. But I did take one tray and do the lasagna. And we could take that out if we wanted to go somewhere and take our little camp stove with us. We could take that pack with us and, you know, pour just a little bit of boiling water in that pack, and we could have a little bit of lasagna on the trail if that's what we wanted to do, if we wanted to get out and do that. We don't do that as much as we used to, but, you know, it would be fun if you did. I have a lot of boxes filled up. As a matter of fact, I'll probably have enough, but if I have things that are left over, instead of letting them go bad, I will put them in my freeze dryer and use it. And we talked on the last video about having a freeze dryer, and it depends on what you want, really. I like knowing I have those foods ready to go. If the power's down, we could build a small little fire and boil some water, and we could have a meal. If things went bad, we could eat on those, you know, for a long time. If you are looking to, like, start a candy business or something like that, it would be probably worth it for that. I don't think just for everyday people who are not prepping, I don't think it's a good investment for you, simply because they are really kind of expensive, and then you have to buy Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers and all that, and so the cost goes up a little bit with each batch. Do I regret buying it? No, because I like having a different way to preserve food. I love to can. I like freezing things, and I like knowing if I have things in my freezer that, you know, are beginning to get a little past their prime, I can bring those out, I can make something with them, and then I can freeze dry that something and have it for the future. And that means a lot to me. I love that. I love to have that. All right, so let's get this in a bag and go ahead and put that back in the refrigerator. All right, so this is going to take a little while to come up to temperature, so I'll bring you back when we get ready to do the little mummies. All right, we're going to put our potato cakes in the oven, and we're going to cook them 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them, and we might cook them another 5. All right, so our potato cakes look good. Now this pan is extremely hot, so I'm going to get a spatula so that I can... We're just making this up as we go, y'all. We're going to lay these out just kind of like you would think a mummy would be wrapped. These would be really cute to do if you were going to be doing a trunk or treat or a function at church or whatever. We're going to just lay these out just like this. And we're going to stick them back in the oven just long enough for this to kind of melt. Shouldn't take but a minute. I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven up on broil just to get it going, and it won't take but a minute to get that done. So I want to keep an eye on them. While I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and dip up a little bit of this. And I went ahead and put my macaroni right in the bottom. That's going to be really cute, I think. Let's taste this chili. This is such a simple recipe, and it's right off the package of the seasoning mix, that it seems kind of silly for me to bring it to you. But I wanted to make chili, and this is how I do it. So even if I wasn't using that packet, I would be using my homemade blend or a blend from the store if I didn't have a homemade blend, you know, ready to go. One good thing about this kind of recipe is that it's always seems good. That is really, really good. And we'll get just a little bite of this with the macaroni. I think that means that might be done. Turn off my oven. And these are super duper hot. Now we're going to just put, and of course we'll take these little candies off before we eat, because these will be sweet. I couldn't find anything else But you might could use something like the little mini pepperonis. You might could use something like that for the eyes, and that would be cute too. All right. So this is how I would serve this, is I would put this right alongside of my chili, and I would serve it just like that. Isn't that darling? I love that. That is so cute. He is so precious. I love it. Remember, Nana loves you. Remember, I am so proud of you. And remember, you always have a friend here. And Nana loves you. Mwah. I'll see you on the next one.